Hello everybody, and welcome to the beautiful green-colored nation of Najd. Of course, with Najd, the goal is usually the same, right? To get the Jihad achievement. So that's 500 Sunni provinces, which, by the way, 500 provinces is a lot more than it sounds, which I learned the hard way. But luckily, I think with the I think it's easier to earn now, just with all the map changes that they've done in the last couple of years than what it was when it first the game first came out, I guess. But yeah, so this is going to be a final thoughts for a completed campaign that we did over on the Twitch channel. And this is, I don't know, is this the most impressive achievement I've ever gotten? I've formed the Holy Roman, or not the Holy Roman, just the Roman Empire as Genoa, and it was a beautiful one. That was like a couple years ago. There's no record of that, unfortunately, as I didn't have cloud saving on apparently, and the new computer I can't load up that file anymore. But never took a screenshot of it, which is sad. But anyways, other than that, that's the only thing that I think would even remotely compete with the Jihad here. We did successfully get it, spoiler alert, but we ended up doing some other cool things too. So let's get the timeline going. This was an incredibly difficult start. Najd doesn't. We instantly just gobble up our neighbor here, who probably didn't have any alliances. But all this land here is just utter garbage. All this land is just garbage. Of course, Hijaz is a vassal of the Mamluks, so we can't really go this way. The alliance networks were becoming a pretty large issue as well. As you're going to see, like, for the most part, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. I mean, Mamluks are getting bigger. They integrate Hijaz. They're slithering their way down here. In fact, our window of opportunity to get down here to Ethiopia is going fast. So we gotta act fast here. We take this because we can, but ultimately we better get down here because at this point the Mamluks have claims on all of this land down here. If they cut us off here, we're donezo. We are donezo. The alliance networks here are incredibly annoying. In fact, the Mamluks are allying a lot of these nations here. Yeah, we need to get down here. So we did a couple wars here. We're able to gobble this up here. But there's still one last piece. It's us versus the Mamluks. It's just a race to get Aden here. We slither through and grab this. Slither through and grab that. That gets us the ability to go to war with Ethiopia. So from there, we're kind of in a spot where it's like, okay, we could take a deep breath here. Take a deep breath here. At this point, the Mamluks hate us, obviously. They have so many claims on our land. They just despise us at this point. We snag the alliance with the Ottomans. Funny thing about the Ottomans, look at them. It looks like it's 1444 over here. What are the Ottomans even doing? Karaman sitting here looking fresh. Like, literally, this is completely stagnant. This is completely stagnant over here. And we'll probably have to watch the timeline a couple times to see some funny things happening. So we do have colonial ideas now. I think we took those as our third idea group. We could double check that after the timeline. We grabbed down here. We also colonized here before Portugal had this to get a claim here so that we could actually attack into Madagascar. Because there was a couple little nations here, so we took those. Now we're in a position where we can attack here and attack up into here. And we're going to start eating Africa sort of from the bottom up. As we also work on Ethiopia as well. Fungi forms here and starts gobbling up tons of land. Just allied to the Mamluks, they just start absolutely annihilating Ethiopia. This is our vassal here that we're expanding out. This is our vassal here. You know, it might have been more feasible to attack into this. We were getting a lot of aggressive expansion in this area, even the little bits of expansion we were doing. Nice thing was we finally got up to here, which we have some drylands, we have some farmlands in Baghdad. So we had some area that we could finally develop. Before this, it's like all this land is terrible. All this land is desert or desert coast. No good land for developing at all. One of the issues with Najd is getting the institutions. We don't even start with feudalism. We don't even start with feudalism. We had to actually, I think we ended up mass developing one of these two provinces. Actually, I don't even remember. I don't even remember how we got feudalism. I think actually the Ottomans or the Mamluks or something were willing to share knowledge with us, so we had to pay them money, and we were able to get that a bit faster. Yeah, we didn't develop for feudalism. We just paid some money for it. Our economy was actually in a tricky situation for a good long while. We're coming into the later parts of the game here. But although we haven't really done much at this point, 1660, I'm kind of worried. I'm like, how are we going to get 500 provinces? We're at like maybe 200 right now, but things are going to start moving fast. Rwanda is our vassal. We just integrated this vassal here. We're coming over here, and we're sort of attacking on all fronts at this point. We haven't really gone against the Mamluks, but we're just about to unlock Imperialism CB, which is going to get us an amazing CB for the Mamluks, right? Because the Mamluks is our culture. This is literally all of our culture. Everything the Mamluks control, except for this little bit of land up here is Kurdish, is our culture. So there's going to be a bit, there we go, boom, huge bite out of the Mamluks. I think we ended up pushing over a little bit over 100% extension there, but we were able to get a monster bite out of the Mamluks there, and then we're going to come in for a secondary bite. Rwanda's getting bigger here. Okay, there we go. We took a bite out of Congo. We gave the rest to Rwanda. Now things are sort of coming together. Sorry to avoid Indonesia here. We've been working on Indonesia this entire time as well, sort of picking apart the native countries here. Hey, France, what's up? Oh, wait. Yeah, France, what's up? We're going to have to watch the timeline again at a higher speed to see what's going on in Europe, because there's some funny stuff going on over there, actually. But, and then what we ended up going for here in the later game, what we were pushing for, we ended up hitting the Jihad somewhere maybe 1740, but we wanted to unify Islam. To do that, we had to come over here and get Thada and also Samarkand. We also needed to come up here and get Dagestan, and we had to ultimately come up here and take a bite out of the Ottomans too. So as you can see, we have this province is also needed for unifying Islam. So we were able to do 3 things, and and here's Arabia, guys. So we did end up clicking the button to form Arabia. So we ended up doing two major achievements, I guess, in one sort of like achievement that's unique to Arabia. We were able to get 100 tribal allegiance by beating up the Ottomans for like, we just kept winning battles against them and beating them up, just sort of milking tribal allegiance by beating up our rival. And getting to 100 tribal allegiance, we were able to get an achievement that is Arabia plus, basically Arabia plus 100 tribal allegiance, and we get a thing for that. Cool. Then we were, of course, able to unify Islam by getting provinces here, down here, up here, and there, there's a bunch in here as well, but we already had them. Damascus, we had to take that from the Ottomans, Constantinople, and then these provinces here. Portugal, don't mind Portugal, they're pretty large here. We got Norway colonizing down here, interesting. And then, of course, we did the Jihad. We ended up finalizing at 520 provinces. To be honest, the last 40 years were not optimized. The last 40 years essentially constituted one big war against Russia, one big war against Spain, one big war against Portugal. I'm trying to sort of hide Europe here because there's some interesting stuff going on there. And one big war, 2 big wars against the Ottomans, actually. A lot of this is ours, but not entirely. A lot of this is ours. We never really did come and clean all this up. I mean, we could have, we could have done something kind of fun, would have been sort of to come around here and maybe take all the coastlands. Let's, one of the funny things, maybe we'll try to catch it. I think it was 1620. Let's watch the timeline one more time, but from Europe's perspective here. There's just some funny stuff happened here. Super early Burgundian inheritance, super early. And we're talking 1455 Burgundian inheritance. England is completely pushed back, or pushed back to the British Isles. France is looking nice, right? France is looking nice. Probably allied to Provence. Provence is actually growing out a bit. Everything's looking fine here, Everything's looking fine. But very quickly things are going to change here. Austria actually winning a war against France, taking a piece of land. Provence growing larger. Okay. Brittany forming. In fact, actually, is this England's taken some land down here? What the heck? England actually took that from Austria. But Austria keeps continuing to expand into France. In fact, things going on with France here. Brandenburg's getting big. Lithuania's getting destroyed by Russia. We're going to see that Russia gets insanely large this game, but it doesn't help them at all. It doesn't help them at all. So France is just getting picked apart. Like, I mean, Britain's coming in. Britain is basically doing the reconquest war against France. Austria is just no mercy. Just literally when the truce is up, Austria just comes in, another big bite. It's just non-stop. I mean, this is just bonkers to me. Austria's eaten Bohemia. They've eaten, look at this, they're just eating Saxony. They've eaten France. Look, Austria is just going to town. And meanwhile, the Ottomans, 1690, the Ottomans look like they haven't even done anything. It looks like 1444 over here. Brandenburg getting bigger. At this point, okay, at this point, Brandenburg is, they have land up here, and they have Denmark. Brandenburg is actually under a PU with Austria at this point, which is insane. Austria is allied to Spain, Portugal, Hungary, has a PU over Brandenburg. All of Europe is essentially Catholic. We can check that at the end too. Russia, here's Russia before the fall. Russia is just, Ming, by the way, exploded without us doing anything. Ming exploded early. Delhi's looking large, but Russia is just gigantic at this point, right? Just gigantic. In fact, they were bigger, but a lot of this land actually just got eaten from them in the last little bit. So that stuff's going on with Najd, but we don't need to look at that again. Something interesting is going to happen here, though. Boom. Boom. Holy Roman Empire. Look, that is a big, beautiful Holy Roman Empire. Denmark is occupying Sweden, and Norway still exists, but really that's going to change too, because the Holy Roman Empire is just taking bites out of people. It's literally just taking, look at this, Savoy is just getting, like, if we actually played this to 1820, 1821, yeah, I'm fully confident that Venice and Savoy would be gone. Denmark would be gone. In fact, actually, they own this province here too. I don't know why I wasn't showing the right color. Norway would be gone. Venice and Savoy would be gone. The only reason why Spain and Portugal would be there is because they're allied. There'd be bigger bites taken out of Russia. Russia still doesn't look small, but it's just like the bites that have been taken. I mean, look at all this cord land that they've lost. It's just insane. Hungary, of course, is allied, but not under a PU with Austria, which is kind of weird. And then we also have, one of the surprising things actually is that Great Britain hasn't actually been able to lose their land here. Part of it is because we did actually eventually ally Great Britain very, very late in the game, but I'm still surprised that Austria didn't come in here and get this sooner. Like, do you have claims on all this stuff? You don't have claims on anything. You're just taking land. You're just taking it, Austria. Yeah, so Austria was massive that game. Portugal actually was massive before we came and actually beat them up a bit. But Portugal actually, I think, ending up higher, yep, higher than Spain. Higher than Spain here on the Great Powers list, which is weird to me considering Spain is Spain, not Castile, right? They got Aragon, they got Naples, they had Sicily. You know, I took a lot of land here, but it's just weird to me that, like, Spain with that development base gets outdone by Portugal. You know what I mean? Just weird to me. With that much of a head start, you know? Heck, I mean, Portugal outdid Great Britain by a mile. By a mile. It was just like every single war, it was like all the land was going to Portugal. Spain just wasn't asking for any of it. I mean, they were fighting these wars together, but yeah, Spain just never got any of it. Very interesting little campaign, very fun. Actually, I'm kind of curious to do just like a very quick timeline here. Let's see, like the Ming explosion here. Very difficult. That was actually our second attempt with Najd. The first attempt, it just didn't go anywhere. Just didn't go anywhere. When does Ming actually go boom? Actually, wow. What's going on in Ming? It looked like Dali actually just beat him in a war, didn't it? Holy cow. 1550, Ming just starts getting destroyed and they can't do anything about it? What the heck are we looking at here? It actually looks like a nation, Tibet. Somehow, Dali gets released. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but they get released. Look at this. They get released and then they start... I guess they don't take bites out of Ming, but who's doing that? Who did that to them? I mean, it's not Russia. I don't know. That is just a colorful Ming. That is a colorful Ming. I mean, literally, this is Ming. And they're gone. Ming actually, like, legitimately does not exist. No, now they exist again. Now they don't. Okay, they don't now for sure. Wow. Crazy. Balmanis, I feel like the last 3 or 4 campaigns I've done, Balmanis gets large. They win southern India. Delhi getting this big though is unusual. Bengal is kind of normal. There was so much, like, because the Ottomans were so weak. I mean, it took them 200 years to get Karaman. 200 years to get Karaman. And I really don't think we did anything to hamper them. They were just permanently in debt. I don't know if they lost an early war or what, but it was just a struggle for them. They were just permanently in debt the whole time. It was weird. All right, so thank you so much, everybody. Najd, into Arabia, Jihad achievement in hand, and Unified Islam. Really fun campaign. We could have optimized this. We could have cleaned up the borders and made it look nice. We could have taken all of Africa. We could have maybe cleaned up, gotten all the coast here in Indochina. I just, there's a point in the game where it's just fun to start anew because it gets tedious in the late game. We're also getting some performance issues and stuff like that. It just gets kind of tedious, but that was a really fun campaign. Really, really fun campaign. Najd is a really cool nation. This tribal federation is really neat government type. Really cool government type. What else is there to look at? If we didn't have 100% overextension, we would probably be making tons of money. Oh yeah, religious map mode, guys. There we go. This is the last bit of reformed. Great Britain is, of course, the only Anglican country. And this is the last bastion of Protestant. Actually, Norway's Orthodox, guys. We'll leave it with that thought. Norway is Orthodox. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you guys in the next one.